Okay, so now let's do an example. And this is going to be from carpentry or dealing with lumber. So anyone who's dealt with lumber may have come across this idea of board feet. So what is the number of board feet? That's the thickness in inches. Okay, so if you think about a 2x4, a 2x4 is typically what? It's 3.5 inches. So instead of 4 inches wide, it's actually 3.5 inches. And by an inch and a half, and then the length, right? So if you can have 8-foot boards, 10-foot boards, and so on. Okay, so if you take the thickness in inches and you take the width in feet and the length in feet and you multiply those numbers together, you're going to get the number of board feet. That's what we call that. That's the number of board feet. Okay, so now let's use this example. So it's a construction example. We have a 2x4 used in framing a house would actually measure 1.5 inch by 3.5 inch, but we would use the dimensions 2x4 in calculating board feet. Okay, so a 12-foot length of framing lumber as 2-inch thick by 4-inch wide, how would we find the number of board feet? So what do we have? We have 12-foot length, right? So the length is 12 foot. Length is 12 feet. The width, now again, we're using the dimensions that we normally use, 2x4. So for board length, we're going to use the length, not the actual length, but the length that we are given. So it's 2x4. So the thickness is 2 inches, and the width is 4 inches. Now, the 4 inches, we were going to have to change that into feet, okay? And so when we look at board feet, here's how we do it. This is going to equal, because again, this is in inches, so that's good. This is in feet, that's good. This has to be in feet, so we're going to make that 4 out of 12 inches. So 4/12 of a foot. Okay? Or 1/3. Right? We could just say 1/3 of a foot. And so now what happens is we're going to multiply this together. So to find the number of board feet, we're just going to multiply the numbers. So it's going to be 12 times 2 times 1/3, which is just going to equal 8. And this would be 8 board feet. Okay, now in lumber measure, the phrase per foot means per board foot. Okay, and the phrase per running foot means per foot of length. Okay, and so in this case we get 8 board feet. Now, what if we had something like this? It says, to floor a small building requires 245 boards, each an inch and a half by 12 inches by 12 feet long. Determine how many board feet should be ordered. Okay, so now, let's look at this example. So in this example, we need how many boards? We need 245 boards, that's what I mean, 245 boards, right? So we need 245 boards, right? And what else do they give us? They tell us that each board is 1.5 inch by 12 inch. So it's 1.5 inch by 12 inch by 12 feet long. Okay, so now remember, thickness is in inches, width and length must be in feet. Okay, so now remember, we're not going to use 1.5, we use 2 here, right? So what we're going to multiply by is, to get the number of board feet, it's going to be the number of board feet for each board, right? That's what this is going to give us. And then we're going to multiply by that by the number of boards. So we have 245 boards. Each board is 1.5 by 12 inches by 12 feet long. Okay, so first I'm going to basically just get the board length, or board feet, the amount of board feet for one board. So that would be 2 times, now this is going to be in feet. That needs to be in feet. So that's going to be 1 times 12. And so this is going to give us 24 board feet. Now I'm going to take this and multiply it by the number of boards that we have to order, which is 245. Okay. Now if I multiply those together, that's going to give me the total board feet I'm looking for, and that's 5,880. And that's it. That's how you do it. Have a great day.